how to load in a drum loop for folks who hadn't been here before, but now we're gonna focus on how to create your own synth keyboard sounds, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to press the button that says play the synth, okay? And then your keyboard is now transformed into a piano. And what is amazing is I can click here and I can change the type of synth I want to use. So right now it has Flutter Wave is the name of the synth, and let's see what it sounds like. Pretty cool. I kind of like that, right? So, but I could say, you know, I want to try something different. So I click on the box, and then now I get to select. I can go to synths. I can choose a different one. I could choose hardstyle lead, and I can press play to see if I like it. Wow, that's a very weird sound. That's pretty cool. Ooh, that's really cool. That's super, super. Yeah, so what I did, I'm going to choose this one. So what I did, just to recap for everybody, so what I did is I pressed play the synth in the middle, and then it popped up. And then this keyboard popped up, and then I pressed the little button where it says leads, and it starts with Flutter Wave, and then I just select a different instrument preset. So I'm going to use this meow lead because I really like it. And there's a difference. So Steven, yeah, so what we talked about the past few weeks, so there's a difference between loops that are already pre-made for you, and those are on the side here, and then playing the instrument, which you have to do yourself. And I'm just going to go through it, and then we can ask questions, okay? Let me just demonstrate it, and then you can. So what I did is I started with a loop, a drum loop, and now I'm going to take my cursor, bring it all the way back to the beginning, or I can press this button to get back to the beginning. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first play around a little bit. And can you guys just make sure to mute yourself if you're not asking a question, just for the time being, just because there's some background noise. So I'm going to look at the different keys here and start to think about what I want to play. So let me make sure. Okay, so maybe I like N, M, and Q. I like these sounds. And I'm not like classically trained in music, so I don't actually know what notes those are. But I know that they sound good, and I'm going to use them. So now I'm going to press record, and it's going to count me in, and then I can start making my synth sound. I don't know if I like that or not, and I kind of messed up, but I don't have to delete it, okay? So what I did is I created these sounds, and now I have this loop that I made. I have this musical track that I made myself with the keyboard, okay? Did everyone kind of see how that happened, how I did that? I'm hoping there's faces of, okay, cool. So now I can double click on it, and I can use my zoom tool here to zoom in so I get a lot more detail. And just like with the drum beats, I can adjust stuff here if I want. So I don't like that first note, so I can just click on it and delete it. So do you see how you can adjust the notes if you mess up? And maybe I want this one to go here. This is looking way too much time. All right, so now I like my loop. I'm like, okay, this sounds cool. So now I can actually turn this into a loop. So I can use this little loop thing at the top and extend my sound. So now, if I go back to the beginning, I should play it and it should sound good. And maybe I want this to start a little bit later, like here. And then it's a little bit off, so I have to kind of move it around. All right, so you get the picture, you get what I'm asking you to do. And so the goal for today, for those of you who are just joining us, you can honestly, if you just want to stick with the pre-recorded loops, you can also find synth loops here. So you could say, instead of playing my own, maybe I'm just going to click synth and then choose. I kind of like that. So I can double click on it and use that in my song if I want to too. Hold on. I want it to play here. Play here. Does not want to press. Okay. Now that sounds really good, right? So you can feel free to use loops, but what I want you to do is continue to work on your song by adding synths, adding melodies, adding stuff that you can sing along to. That synth keyboard sound is really important. And the last thing I'll just show you guys really quickly is another thing that you can do. So when you go to record, so let's say I'm going to play the synth and I'm going to add another new synth. You can also adjust some cool effects here. You have these cool effects knobs. So you can turn the volume up, but you can also do stuff like adding reverb. And reverb makes your sound echoey. And you can also create a delay. So if you want it to sound kind of like weird and trippy and strange, then you can add these delay and the reverb, and then that'll make it really cool. So like, do you see how it like echoes? So that can be really fun to use as well. So my goal for all of you guys is to spend, I think I'm going to actually give you guys the rest of the time because I want us to keep working on our music. And then so that at the end, we're going to have a big showcase like our last week. We're going to have a big showcase and we're going to upload everyone's songs to SoundCloud. So, so instead of having our share time at the end of class, although I love doing that, I just want to give you guys enough time to actually work on your song. So 25 minutes, but maybe we'll come back at 5 of just to do a final closeout. So work on your songs, work on stuff that you need to, yeah, just work on your songs, add your synths, add your loops. If you want to be creative and create your own loops, I think that's a really great next step. So go for it, and I'll be here if you have any questions.